some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah, hope I get away with it. Oh, doo-dah, day.
Hi there, folks. I'm Dan Hallfield. Welcome to Last Man Standing. Sorry for the slow start, but I was down the hall and missed the end of the countdown. That is entirely on me and my rather full bladder. So there. With me tonight, which has nothing to do with any condition whatsoever, is Aunt Donna and Richie. And who knows? We might even wind up with our Sterling Esquire popping in, or it may be past his self inflicted bedtime. Who knows? You'd think a fan of late night movies would be up later, but
Really?
evidently he has a life, so what can I say? How are y'all doing tonight?
Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed so far.
All right.
I exist.
That
Oh,
is my usual state, just existence.
Carl went to bed at 7:30.
He's got shopping to do tomorrow morning, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, but they don't even open till 6.
Well,
Well, he did. He was up at like 3 o'clock this morning for some reason.
that doesn't sound healthy. I mean,
You know,
seriously.
the older you get, the less sleep you need.
I didn't go to bed till 6 a.m.
I usually wind up going to bed about 2 or 3 a.m. and trying desperately not to wake up before 10.
I was looking for death certificates.
Oof.
I've got to go to the DMV and get lost titles on a couple of Dad's vehicles that my sister has, and then after that, I've got to get the name transferred out of my mother and my father, because a couple of them are still actually had my mom's name on it, even though she's been gone for 10 years?
Ooh.
That doesn't sound right.
Hiya, Foxy. Glad to see you. Yeah, Dad's been gone. I don't know how long. I didn't want to remember the date because it was not a particularly happy memory. And when it comes Mom's time, I probably will do the same. But oh well, good thesis. So you're gonna try using a different browser as had been suggested. I really the only thing that solved my buffering problem was getting a computer with really high powered uh, central processor.
No, 10 years. Holy crap. It feels like longer.
Yeah, it always does, doesn't it?
As I was looking for the death certificates, I found the little cards that we had written out there. But I know exactly where those were. Found Mom's original death certificate. Can't find Dad's.
Well,
but I do have scans of them. So the DMV just took copies of them last time, so hopefully they'll take the pronounce this time. But my sister never got back to me with exactly what she needs, so I didn't go because I'm not making more than one trip. Anyways, so I went to bed at 6. Phone ass tired. Woke up at 7:30 to go get stabbed by the phlebotomist.
yes. Where's your microphone sitting at, Richie?
I have no idea which one it is pointed at currently. It should be directly in front of me.
You're kind of popping in and out.
It's not the sound quality we are used to from your rig.
Is that any better?
Exactly the same.
Okay, so that is exactly where it's supposed to be pointing. Now, and let's adjust the camera a little bit. How's that? Is that any better? So it's actually more in line with instead of.
Yep, that's a little better. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, the camera was just tilted down because it's my document camera, so I can bend it and fold it in so many different ways. It's not even funny. So.
That's what you said last night.
Oh God, no! I'm not bendable or flexible in any way, shape, and or form.
I didn't say you were. I just said that's what you said.
Couché, pussycat.
Wow.
Scared. Oh Lord.
Yes, my child.
The funny thing is, technically, if we were doing Tom and Jerry shtick, I technically would be Nibbles in this crowd. So touche pussycat is the proper line for me.
If you want to be nibbled. Oh, never mind. Who said that?
Touche, pussycat.
My little friend, my little friendly one, my little little puff. My
If
little
I want to
powder
be
puff.
nibbled, I would just need to find a French cappuccino smelling cologne and wear that around Misty.
Sounds like a plan to me. Um, oh,
Oh
well,
gosh.
I just realized today I finally made enough progress on the pergola for the barbecue grill that I should start taking pictures, just one or two at a time, not a whole series, but
I was going to say Excedrin to deal with the pain.
Excedrin. I wish that was enough. Um,
I
after
didn't say what
toting
the
around
Excedrin was laced with.
some of that plywood, uh, half a bottle of Kraken doesn't knock a dent in it.
Holy shit.
Oh yeah. And Lindsay comes back from her chiropractor going, "Oh, I don't feel any pain whatsoever. I feel like I did when we first got married." And I'm going, "Well,
Show
that's
off.
a good sign. I'm not going to stop driving you to the chiropractor." Uh,
When Misty makes a comment about, she hasn't felt this good since, XYZ, I'll reach out, I'll, cop a feel, and I'd be like, no, you've always felt this good. Yeah. Same high quality.
I can't do that. The
And
dog
of
goes
course,
crazy.
I have to mime it as I'm talking about it. So
I can't do that. The dog goes crazy. She's jealous. Uh, I mean, seriously, the dog has a fit when I just reach over and touch Lindsay's hand in the middle of the night while we're in bed. Hey, Thesis,
Thesis.
Hello.
hello, brother.
let's hope this experiment works.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, like I was just saying a little while ago, the only thing that solved my buffering problem was finding a really fast processor in a computer that was on sale that I could afford.
Well, the thing
Jimmy
is,
Buffreen and the Coral Reefers. Oh
it
wait, no, that's
only
Buffet. Never mind.
happens in StreamYard. Everything else runs just fine, but as soon as I get in StreamYard, screws everything up.
StreamYard does tend to be a memory vampire.
Yeah, but it only
Were
started
you
happening
running?
last month.
Were you running Chrome?
Yeah.
Chrome is a memory hog to begin with. StreamYard is a memory hog to begin with. There was probably an update that made them both more so.
I wouldn't doubt it. I had a Chrome update earlier this afternoon.
Well, I'm trying Edge with this one. We'll see how that works.
Well, so far you haven't frozen.
Yes, he
until
has.
just now.
So far.
You
At least it was a brief one. Let's face it. Salt Lake City does not want you to stream.
Yeah, I know. They're little Mormon bastards don't want me to talk. They don't like me.
I had to switch to StreamYard for a short period of time because when other audio is played, I can't hear it when I'm in Chrome. It's like when the ads are played, when we're on Joe's show or anything like that, I'll hear like every 15th, 16th note or sound. Then it fixed itself after a little bit. Now it's getting back to where it's doing the weird thing if other audio is playing like an ad or bed music or something like that. And I'm pretty sure it's just memory.
Yeah.
Be a little crybaby.
It was very entertaining on Monday when Foxy was on the the ladies' night and had absolutely no sound coming from the computer, and I could not figure out what the problem was. And then, just for fun, I went into the settings and checked the audio output, and it was playing through my television that wasn't turned on. Somehow the audio switched from my computer speakers to my HDMI on my computer or on my television. And I'm like, well, how the hell did that happen?
It does it by itself. Believe me. There was a time when I would come into StreamYard, have the headphones be the actual speakers being used, and then I would have to crank the volume down to about 20 to 30% to keep my ears from hurting. And they're bone conduction headphones, so it was a little strange. These are not quite something I would want to mix music with this set of headphones. There's no bass response, but it's fine for voice. They have a much more expensive set that I could get. I'm going, no, I have perfectly good wired headphones that, $20 versus over 100.
And $20 is $20.
I can do that math. Now, what I would like is to have something like a set of these headphones to use while driving, sort of like I used to do with the one little earbud that I got made up with my cell phone. Because I do get calls when I'm driving, and I'll get arrested if I have a cell phone in my hand. Unlike the policemen I see driving by me, texting on their cell phones.
Talking, texting, happens all the time.
I'm going, one law for you, one law for me. Well, as long as never the twain meets, I'm happy.
Leave Mark out of this.
Foxy.
Yeah, she did.
Cheeky girl. Yes, I love you for a reason.
That was almost as good as the time when I asked him if I could borrow his handcuffs. And when he said, "What for?" I just kind of looked at him, looked at her, looked back at him.
And there's that face. Yes.
There's a dirt road right up here.
What you need to do is you need to fake up an image on your phone so that it shows the a local motel and reservation and stuff like that, and ask that question. If they say "What for?" look at him, look at her, look at him, show them the reservation. Go, "We forgot ours at home."
They're still on the headboard. Damn it.
Mine stays on the sword rack.
I won't say where mine is.
Ours are in the closet, but they're...
Well, Carl's in bed. I mean, he's not getting up anytime soon unless you want him to.
Ours are in the closet, but the hinges are bent, so they don't work very good anymore. They kind of get stuck. You have to, stick a knife in there. It's not good.
Mine are wherever my magic equipment from 1990s, early 2000s is.
I think that's probably the same brand that I have. came with keys, but you don't really need them.
Nope.
Well, mine were police issue, and at that point in time, no, I didn't need keys.
Sneaky bugger, ain't you?
And I also had a pair of thumb cuffs. I had more handcuff keys hidden on my person than even the most paranoid person would think to search you for. And then my favorite pair were my Harry Anderson pair for it was part of Cufflinks. Great routine.
Oh, that reminds me. I've got the Mike Hammer handcuffs right here. You apply these with a ball peen hammer and leave the hammer laying there. Good luck with that one, bad guy. Damn, I know I've got a copy of that paperback. I can't remember who the author was. Oh, well, it's not worth my Googling.
Your dad is silly, isn't he?
Oh.
Oh, God damn it, Dan. You had to mention Berlin earlier, so now They Might Be Giants road movie to Berlin is stuck in my head.
Okay. Well, you're welcome. Actually, have you seen the movie of They Might Be Giants? A gentleman that thinks he's Sherlock Holmes and is a lady psychiatrist.
Oh yeah,
That's an excellent film.
that is.
I don't remember who's in it, but whoever they were, they made an impression on me. And I was still young enough to where I didn't realize the importance of reading the credits. And that might have been the movie that inspired the name of the band. I'm not sure.
Could be. It sounds like something that they would be into and that they would dig the hell out of.
Yeah.
Are you feeling better?
Oh, while I was outside working on the barbecue grill today, I had the little portable radio tuned to University of Georgia radio station, and they were playing. No, I'm wrong. It wasn't University of Georgia. They were boring, so I switched it to one of the stations that plays classic rock and nothing but, except for during certain sports events. And they were playing REM songs. And I'm going, wait a minute. That's one of the girls from B-52 singing in the background. I know her voice. I know her voice very well. Evidently, she shops at one of the antique stores that we go to. One of those that's nothing but booths all the way around, like a flea market. She goes in there a lot, and I keep waiting to run into her and be so embarrassed that I'm not able to even say hello.
Worst.
I mean,
One full goofy.
Yeah, really, just fanboy all over the place. I miss them at the premiere of an art show by one of my college professors by about 5 minutes.
Oof.
And then found out that the people that provided the music that night for his art show were a couple of members of REM and a couple of members of I think it was a band called Little Tigers, which is y'all won't know that one because it was just a local group. And basically, what they did, they took a guitar and leaned it against an amplifier where it was constant feedback, fed that through a synthesizer and a mixing board. And my art professor would roll six-sided dice in a plastic cup, and whatever that number happened to be when he emptied the cup was the setting that they put on the synth and the mixer. So it was completely, totally random sounds, basically generated by a guitar being really pissed a bit about being leaned up against an amplifier, and thesis grants knowing exactly what that sounds like.
Uh-huh. I made that mistake once and only once and never again.
Yeah, well, they did it on purpose and turned it into art. Yeah, it was actually pretty good. Somebody recorded it on reel-to-reel tape, and you could get
Dan.
copies of bits and pieces of it.
Dan.
Hello, kitty. Not Thesis and Fox's kitty, but Aunt Donna's kitty.
Donna's playing with her kitty on screen.
That's
Not
better
for
saying I'm
long.
holding my pussy on screen.
That's what I almost said, but I reeled myself in.
Well, you can get volunteers for that, I'm sure. The line
Usually-
must stretch around the block.
No, he was. I don't know if you could hear him or not, but he was crying underneath me, like everybody else is gone to bed and I don't have anybody.
I had to evict one cat and the dog before I could start the show and close the door. That way, Lindsay is able to speak or able to sleep without me hysterically laughing at somebody's jokes like I usually do.
I leave my door open. If I wake him up, that's his tough shit.
He knows how to use a doorknob. He can close his own damn door.
That's right.
Hell, Lindsay still got the light above the stove in the kitchen on in case I have to get more beer. I put 6 in my little chiller back here. I've only
Why
had
did you put
2.
lights in the chiller? Oh, beer.
Mhm.
Never mind.
I've only had 2 since Stupid O'Clock started. I don't know what's happened to my capacity. Then again, I may not trip over anything except the dog if I'm very careful.
There's some advantages, yes.
I am getting a little bit tired of the arrangement we have in the hallway where the extremely tall dehumidifier sits with a heater right next to it. And every time I try and go through the doorway behind them, I knock the heater over. Forward, backwards, it doesn't matter. Uh, one of the two directions, I will kick the heater instead of being able to step over it. Because usually I'm either carrying something heavy into the room or carrying something heavy out of the room. I like to never got out of there today with extraordinarily light, empty cardboard boxes to take to the recycling center. It was just so awkward. I'm gradually cleaning that room out so that we can use it again. Lindsay wants to, next summer, put one of the floor air conditioners in there and just leave the door open and let the dog and the cats just go, this is boring. We're not coming in here again.
What you working on, Rich?
Let me pull this ring out so that I don't lose my place. Continuing the strap for the horn.
Ah. I have lost the stand to my horn. It's a really thick iron stand that folds up like this when it's folded, but it's like that when it's unfolded. And it was sitting on my altar. And somebody got up on my altar. And I don't know where the stand went. I mean, it's really heavy. But I can't find it anywhere. The only thing I can figure out is it's between the fireplace and the radiator.
Entirely possible.
That would mean a big deal pushing that fireplace out away from the radiator so I could see.
Yes. Oh, I've almost got Lindsay talked into going ahead and letting us go down and get the new stove. And right now she's fixated on replacing the electric fireplace in the living room. And I'm going, damn, I hate to lose that cabinet because it's so pretty, but if we can't find an insert to go in it, we're going to have to. It's really nice, but the only one that we can find in the same model is painted blank white.
Yeah.
And we prefer the walnut or the oak
Have you
stain.
tried Menards?
Honey, we don't have a Menards. I'd have to mail order it.
Well, Menards.com, yes.
I get emails from them every damn day.
I know I've seen some in the store that were not white.
Well, we got this one at a Big Lots.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
it was inexpensive, but it lasted a decade before it started burning out in different components.
Mm-hmm.
And it might still work as a heater, but Lindsay wants the dancing flames. And I don't blame her because it is kind of pretty.
It is.
And it's got a built-in thermostat. You can set it to whatever temperature you want to maintain in their big-ass living room and kitchen, which would probably fit in your kitchen all by itself.
Considering the size of the house, my kitchen is small.
I think my living room and kitchen is about 25 by 25. There's no wall between the two. It's just all one big
Yeah.
open space.
Well, my kitchen's on the east side, and my living room's on the west side, so I don't have that problem.
Well, we have put up a few things to be like room dividers. And then Lindsay complains that she can't cook and watch the TV at the same time. I go, you were the one put the Chinese screen there. Uh,
Oh, see, now my mom solved that problem by having a TV in the kitchen. But the reason being farmers, you had to be able to get the noon farm news
yeah,
while you're having your lunch break.
get the farm report. Yes. Because you never knew if the Weather Channel had the, well, Weather Channel. There wasn't even a Weather Channel back then. You never knew if the TV or radio weather was in any way, shape, or form accurate for where you actually lived.
He was usually checking corn and bean prices,
Mm, yeah,
cow prices, pig prices.
yep. Corn and soybeans and wheat. That would be what we would be checking for.
I don't think
Um,
we ever did any wheat. Don't remember any.
we did it usually. We planted winter wheat, so late fall, plant it, early spring, harvest it. Um,
You can do that down there. You can't do that up here.
oh yeah, I know. It's not unless you got a snowblower. Uh,
That and trying to plow that damn uh, ground after about October.
well, I remember plowing a field for winter wheat, and it was snowing, which is not that frequent in Georgia, or at least our area. And I'm standing there
Going,
on
what
the
is that white
tractor.
stuff? Oh,
Yeah, no, I'm standing there on the tractor, and I'm leaning forward, and I'm grabbing the muffler for the tractor with my gloved hands in order to dry the gloves out and eat my hands up. Um,
yeah.
you're working too hard when the muffler starts glowing red.
Uh, yeah, it's damn cold up here now.
It was a little chilly today. I was outside painting mostly. I didn't do any carpentry, but I did a lot of painting. Um,
We're running in the highs are in the 50s now.
I think it was about 70 or thereabouts outside, which is, I need to put on a jacket, but other folks don't. I'm very sensitive to cold.
Mm,
It's just one of those biological quirks, probably having to do with having worked in the factory for so many years. Um, I'm acclimated to uh, a constant temperature of at least 98 degrees.
yep.
And when it drops 20 degrees below what I'm used to, I get a little bit chilly.
As
Uh,
you do.
it's just what you get used to. Um,
I
I
was
could
I've
Correct.
been I've been used to having. I go in and turn my electric blanket on before I come in for like the show or anything. So I've got a nice warm bed. My electric blanket died 3 nights ago.
Oh,
And
I'm
Carl's like, I'll pick one up on Sunday. No. Well, yesterday I went, no, we're picking one up today.
we're going now. Uh,
They're on sale. It'll save you $20. It may not be on sale by Sunday. And then I saved
uh,
him an extra $20 by buying one of those electric throws rather than an electric blanket.
$20 is $20.
Yeah, and
really?
I saved him 40.
It's 40 degrees right there now. It's 65 outside and 81 in my office. And I've been turning the heat down from my little radiant heater over and over and over, trying to get it below 80 just for the electric bill, not because that's where I'm most comfortable. If I turned it up to where I was most comfortable, I'd probably be wearing, well, not a banana hammock, but at least swim trunks and not much else.
Turn that thermostat up, Dan.
uh, Believe me, when I open the door to the office, it's going to heat up the rest of the house for the rest of the night, and I'll have the heater off. Just
That's not what they mean by hotboxing, Dan.
Well, I'm not complaining of the cold, and people say put on more layers. I'm like, if I wanted to do layers, I'd be a taco instead of a damn human being.
hmm
So part of the conversation earlier is my son was cold. My son and grandkids and my daughter-in-law came over. But my son was complaining about being cold, and Misty said something about turning the heat up, and I'm like, I take anything else off. CPS shows up. You guys can put more on.
No, and people do they don't anymore, but they used to ask me how I coped with the um, 0 to -40 temperatures in the wintertime at the factory, and I go insulated coveralls.
Gotta watch the static from those.
Yeah, especially when you're wearing steel toe boots with rubber soles to keep from slipping on the concrete.
I'm thinking, especially when you're around combustible engines. That's how my
Oh,
dad. That's how my dad ended up with second and 30 degree burns.
yeah. What's really weird is when uh, insulation is coming down an assembly line and you're having to pick it up off the assembly line and load it into a machine that'll compression package it. You pick up a lot of static.
I bet.
So you lean over to grab the next piece of insulation, and through an inch thick insulated coverall, you get an electric shock. That's more than a little bit of static right there.
Well,
So back when back when I was still on the help desk, um, my desk was just a couple cubes over from my friend Buddy. I wasn't saying friend in two different ways. His name actually is Buddy. Um, but I would go over to Buddy's cube and either ask him a question or sit to BS with him real quick while we were waiting for phones to ring or something like that. And I would get about 2 inches away from the frame of the cube, and all of a sudden you would hear zap, and you would see this little blue arc go from the cubicle frame side to me. So yeah, and then people halfway down the hall would hear, "Son of a bitch!" Rich got shocked again.
Everything all right back here, Richie? Um,
Apparently, I just have an electrifying personality.
Shocking.
Enlightening.
Yeah. And my dad was down on the field with combine by himself, insulated coveralls, and he got off the combine to work on the engine, and it blew up. And he had all down this side, second and third degree burns. Now the funny thing about it was 3 months later, it was almost healed. My mother, about the same time he had his accident, had accidentally touched a hot iron to her arm. His third degree burns were healed. Her little first degree burn from her iron was still all red and icky after 3 months.
Mm,
Damn.
people do heal at different rates.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, Foxy. Getting out of the truck almost every time when I touch the door, zap! Yep, been there, done that, bought the t-shirt.
So did the garage sale.
Son of a bitch! Winter's coming.
That's my feeling about it too, honey.
I like most of winter. The thing I don't like about winter is, well, in wintertime, people tend to wear more fleece and stuff like that, and they build up static charges a lot more.
Mhm.
Misty has, because of her epilepsy, we'll just say that there are electrical issues. And not just the ones where, thunderstorms cause her to damn near have a seizure, but one thing that is particularly painful about Misty during the wintertime is the stupid amount of static electricity that she builds up. So, yes, it's getting close to the point in time that there will be literal fireworks when I give my wife a kiss on the lips.
How very Buckaroo Banzai.
Um,
And not the usual fireworks.
are you calling my wife a bad penny?
A pretty penny.
But anyways, sorry. But yeah, son of a bitch. That's a painful time of year. That also means that Barry is going to be very pissed off at her.
Because every time he gets close, he gets shocked.
Because every time she goes to pet him, she will zap him. Because cats, you just give you a huge amount of static electricity anyway if you're petting them for too long.
Oh, I've noticed that.
And then his connection with the Speed Force.
We've had a cat jump up on the bed and demand to be petted, and then you can hear the crackle of the static as you pet the cat while you're in bed.
And then they look at you like, "You son of a bitch! What did you do to me?"
No, these cats seem to enjoy it. They don't stop demanding pets.
There are some cats that are masochists.
Some?
There's some cats that have been built by Victor Frankenstein, apparently, too.
Oh, my lucky girl used to like to have her bottom spanked.
I know a lot of cats that like that.
I am not going to make any questions or smart-ass remarks on that one whatsoever.
Nope, me neither.
Well, she was named Loki.
I've had too many cats in my lifetime. Most of ours, except for one, no, except for 3, are almost 16. And one of those 3 is 17. And we don't know how much longer we've got them.
Mm.
Especially since they're mostly outside.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the 2 really young ones are entirely outside, except when one comes in and goes, "Oh, well, that was a nice appetizer," after eating a full bowl of food, and comes back here and claws my leg until I feed him again.
Good night, Foxy.
Feed me, Seymour. Feed me all night long.
Good night, Foxy. Yep,
Good night, Foxy.
it's pretty much exactly that.
Does it have to be blood? Does it have to be mine? Sorry.
That guy sure looks like plant food to me. And Mama's roses have never looked better.
When I was younger, just barely a kid, my mama noticed funny things I did. Like shooting puppies with a BB gun, poisoning guppies, and when I was done, I'd find a pussycat and bash its head. And that's when my mama said, what did she say? She said, my boy, I think someday
you'll find a way to make your natural tendencies pay. Be a
you'll be a
dentist.
dentist. You have a talent for causing great pain. Son, be a dentist. People will pay you to be inhumane. Your temperament's wrong for the priesthood, and teaching would suit you still less. Son, be a dentist, and be a success.
Oh, Mama. Yes, I have several Rocky Horror movies that aren't Rocky Horror. That's one. Shock Treatment is another. Believe me, I have burned out many a car stereo playing the soundtrack to Shock Treatment at a high enough level of decibels to make cops go, "Can you hear the siren?"
Sorry, I thought you were just doing a laser light show to go with the concert I was doing.
I'm just going, dude, did you say something?
What?
I'm driving here.
I can't hear you over the sound of my music.
Yeah, it's one thing I liked about my car stereo in the 70 Impala. There was some feedback that came through from the alternator whine through the stereo system, so I had an audible cruise control. Basically, I could keep that note steady and still be under the speed limit, and cops would just look at me and go, "It's like 3 decades too early for the thumpa stereos. What are you? Oh, you're a college student in the 70s. I understand." Hell, Alice Cooper almost had to pay me royalties. I had to play the music so often. There was one album that I had to listen to backwards because it made, not backwards, but side 2 and then side 1, because it made more sense that way. And I can't remember who that was right now. But I bet if I went through all of my cassette tapes, I'd find one that was rewound to side 2, ready to go. Oh, oh my God! I've still got a working cassette player. Well, I think it's working. I don't think it's been powered up for 15 years, but I might have to check on that one day.
It was the 70s. Music wasn't supposed to make sense. It was supposed to be fun.
If it wasn't fun, you didn't buy it.
That's right.
You went to
And we had more than disco.
You went to Turtles Records and you bought $100 worth of vinyl every week, and there was still room in the car to go buy $100 worth of used paperback books every payday. Yes.
I still do that now.
I didn't have that kind of payday.
My parents told me that when I was able to make $100 a week more than what my bills were, then it was safe for me to get my own apartment, move out of the house. And then I wound up with the factory job, and it was basically almost $300 a week more than what I needed for monthly bills. And boy, that money disappeared really quickly every payday. My best friend and I
mine went to comic books.
Yeah, comic books, records, used paperback books, new paperback books. I really didn't care because I had a quadraphonic stereo and I wasn't afraid to use it. Hello,
For
Daniel.
paperback books, I just took my mom's ones that she just got done reading because we read the same stuff. For music, it was just record whatever my sisters had bought because we listened to the same stuff. So I got to spend all my stuff on comics. And I didn't have to share them because nobody else liked them.
Nope.
You were lucky.
Yes, I was a greedy little dick. Pun intended.
I remember going into a used record store and selling them some of the stuff that I had bought over the years that I was going, if I listen to this another 500 times, I'm going to be in a straitjacket. So I go in there and I sell them a whole box full of records, and I pick out like 2 David Bowie albums, and they go, "Oh, you're going to be a real big fan of his." And I'm going, I don't know about that. I'm just kind of getting into it. It's the only reason I'm buying these is because Rick Wakeman is playing keyboard on them.
Hey,
And they
Daniel.
go, "Oh, yep, you'll become a fan really close, really soon." And fuck if they weren't right. I mean, seriously. I wasn't educated enough at that time to figure it out on my own, but nowadays, yeah. I have a much wider appreciation of music than I ever had. And I'm still able to appreciate the more specific range that I had at that time.
That's kind of the job of people who work at record stores, though. They can, the few that I've been into, they can usually direct people to exactly what they want or what they need, or even if they themselves don't know. I've only been in 2. One was actually here in my little tiny ass mountain town that it shut down years ago. And another one was in Wyoming, and now there's actually a hi-fi store about 6 miles from me that I still haven't gotten a chance to go into, and I really want to.
Mm. I think one of the most interesting shops I went into, they sell sheet music. And they did, back in the 70s, have a few vinyl albums, but not as many as Kmart or Sky City or one of the other department stores of the era. But it was the only place that I could get the little rubber bands that made my turntable work.
Hmm?
I finally figured out where to buy them online, but I don't play vinyl that often anymore.
No,
And I've got one that plugs directly into the computer that when I play it, it will automatically make um, MP3s out of it. But if it's something like Pink Floyd that has a long period of silence, it'll split things up into tracks that aren't supposed to be separate tracks. Um, or even Queen, where there's a full stop between the end of the vocals and the end of the song,
Hmm?
it just read the silence as, oh, this is where the next MP3 starts. So we're gonna skip this, and I'm going, no, thank you, and I have to go back in and blend them back together. Thankfully, there's audio software that can do that.
I was gonna say Audacity. Yes.
As far as the audacity of that.
Mm. Audacity is a wonderful program.
That depends.
Hell, we might have known someone who wrote the book on that, literally.
I wrote a book on that.
Yep. One of the first ones.
Mm-hmm. And the
One of
only
the
drawback I see to Audacity is if you are too cheap to buy a copy and you just use the free version, you can't get all of the functionality at one time. You
That was
get this or you get that.
that was probably the problem I had with it because I can't afford to get. I had the free version and it sucked, so I started using Audio Mass for all my recording, and it works just fine.
Yeah.
I've never paid a cent for Audacity, and work doesn't pay a cent for Audacity, and it more than covers our needs.
Well, every time I record something like the old Dan story for a YouTube, well, I can't say video because it's a still picture with my voice behind it, but an audio. Um, or anytime I have to do any editing of different clips, audio clips together, that Audacity does the best work because I like the wave format where I can look at the wave function for the recorded audio and I go, wait a minute, that gap does not need to be there. I can chop that out. And it's visual. I don't have to listen and go, ooh, let me write down the time here. No, it's got this waveform that I go, yep, remove that, remove that, remove that, remove that, save just in case.
And if I put in here, the Audacity book written by Mr. Carl Witzman, whoever he is not only the cheapest Audacity book on the market. I was able to read it, and I can now use Audacity because of this book. It's very clearly explained.
It's very comprehensive, and it's, as you say, very clearly explained. There's no jargon. There's no
Exactly.
obfuscation. It's just, hey, click here, do this, unclick here, listen to what you've done, edit as necessary.
It's
But
racist. It's written on the basis that the assumption is you don't know nothing about recording.
you
Mm,
don't know why you need it. You just know that you need it.
Hmm.
And
Well,
all of Carl's non-fiction books are kind of that same way too, though. I mean, he's really good about picking up what you um, need to not feel like a complete dumbass looking at the subject from the outside for the first time.
hmm
I think part of that's because of his psychology background, and part of it is from dealing with the dumbasses that work for the state that he had to teach how to use computers.
I was going to say, being both, psychology and IT, that probably goes a lot to the issue right there.
Hmm.
He probably would have been a great teacher for any subject he chose to specialize in. Thankful, thankfully for us, he chose to generalize after he retired from being a psychologist, and we're learning lots and lots of things. Behind you, they're in the cabinet behind whatever it is that has a red light glowing on it.
Um, that's my little room heater, but no, the crying is coming from Himoni out in the hallway.
Oh, out in the hallway. Okay. Sorry, I made a silly assumption that the cat visible was the one that was crying, not the invisible one. Oh shit,
I
thesis.
can
Did
tell
I just give you
because
another idea for a story? An invisible cat.
I can tell the difference because as big as Himoni is, and he is huge, and it's all muscle. He's got the tiniest little voice.
Mm,
You've seen those big guys that are huge and they talk like this. That's
hmm
yeah, that's my little Himoni, my little baby Huey. The skinny one back here, especially when he gets screaming, he's a Karen.
Sounds like a velociraptor. Okay.
You can hear him all the way across the store. He's a Karen.
Thesis, the next chapter in the Jeff saga. Um, Jeff is now down on his luck. Um, you know, running around, the alleys, trying to
Forage
find
for himself.
electricity. Will grant wishes for electricity. Um, and he comes across somebody who, um, well, the product of somebody who made a wish, um, and basically it's invisible cats who are now stalking demons.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Damn. I want to write that one myself, but I won't. I don't have time. Um, I've got to get that damn cat and the crow to the big boss fight and get that book over with. Uh, book hell, it's a novella. Uh,
And congrats to you three guys. Your stories this month was very good. Enjoyed them all.
Thank you.
oh well, thank you. I was a little bit worried because that one was not the same character that people got used to in the one that had already been published. And I'm going, okay, he's a tough guy now. Um, you start working with the spooks in communist Europe, and you have to be a little bit badass.
I will point out one little thing, Dan.
Oh, what did I do wrong?
Well, you know your
I
story's
believe now
always
they're called ghostly Americans.
you know this. Your story is in first person.
Yeah.
At one point, when he's talking to the major whatsoever, just before he's sent on his little mission,
Hmm.
instead of saying "I said," you said it. You put in "Tom said."
Oh, I slipped, didn't I?
Can't you be a
Um,
pretentious dick and talk in the third person?
Yeah, yeah.
well, I have
I
been
mean,
experimenting
Terry
with
Crews
trying
does.
not to write in first person, but it doesn't seem to fit well with my style. And I have people that will not read my work because most of it is first person, and they don't like that. And I'm going, why
They're missing
not?
out.
Why not? I mean, seriously. Um,
Because they're snobs.
Mm-hmm.
well, we're English majors, and no slur on you, Donna. Um, it's just a lot of people do not. Well, a lot. Some people
A
do
lot
not
of
like
English
first
majors
person.
become literary snobs.
Mm-hmm. Very
Well,
true.
some people just can't. They can't. No matter how attractive I make it, they can't identify with the narrator character. They want an
It's not
omniscient
how I would do
narrator.
it. Then do it your fucking self.
Yeah.
Really, write your own damn book.
And then see, I have no trouble reading somebody else's first person, but I have problems writing in first person.
It's the most natural way for me to. I mean, whichever character it is that is the narrator for
Mm-hmm.
that particular story, I am that character.
Mm-hmm.
It's the easiest way for me to tell the story.
And that's your
And
style.
yeah, now there are things I've written that are not first person, and I find that a bit of a slog, but it can be done, and I'm willing to um, stretch my skills and try and learn how to do it effectively.
See, I'm lazy. I'm not. I'm not. I've got my style. I'm not gonna stretch my skills. I'm too old for that shit.
Well, I probably am too, but considering how many of my stories are first person, but yeah, um, if they don't read it because the point of view character is the main character in the story rather than somebody else, or an omniscient narrator that knows everything that's going on, including what's going on in people's heads, I'm not really that good at that. I can do it, but I don't like to read it.
The only time first person bothers the hell out of me is when it is first person present. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, I did really like the Hunger Games, and I liked the entire series. I thought it was all really good. But it is a weird read for me because it's first person present.
Used to be the biggest problem I had was not being able to tell
keeping your mouth shut when you accidentally travel in time?
Oh no, that's no problem. I just snicker a lot. Um let's see. It was uh, past tense and passive voice.
Mm.
I used to confuse that a lot without knowing what I was doing. There are a lot of things that I will still wind up putting them in passive voice, thinking it's past tense,
Okay,
and uh,
that
it's
has to be an interesting read,
yeah. Well,
and
evidently,
not necessarily interesting in the good way.
exactly. Um, let's just say where I screwed that up. It's not a very widely read story.
Well, you're not alone. A lot of people do have a problem with using passive in their stories,
Hmm.
and you're just going. This is a fight scene. Why? No, 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 no. You got to use your correct tenses.
Oh, and thesis. I do hope you enjoy the fight scene in the beginning of this story. It's just one of those things where, okay, I can see it playing out in my head like it was a movie. Let's just narrate it. Uh, I had a lot of fun with that, and it did tend to make Tom look rather ruthless. Oh, then again, the romance bit, I try to be very careful about that because I know my mother's going to read it eventually.
Well, you did a very good job.
Well, I'm kind of fond of the um, Thin Man era
Hmm.
version of sex scenes where it just kind of leads up to it and then fades to black, and your imagination has to take over.
Well,
Uh,
believe it or
There's
not,
another story that did that in this last issue of Aphelion.
oh,
Yeah, it was a worm. Almost feels like fire.
see, I can write without putting sex in something.
well, yeah. I mean, I've just,
Don,
I've just, I've just told folks over and over again, if if you want me to write something like Penthouse Letters, I can do it. It probably won't be anywhere near as exciting as what your own imagination will
There
come
I
up
was.
with.
I never believed it would have happened if it didn't happen to me.
and Don blindsided me last night by making references to golf balls, and I'm like, golf? What'd you? I'd forgotten that my story was in there, and she probably read it. So I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One
That's
little,
not
two
usually
little,
the
three
kind of
little
fiery
Nick
balls
ponies.
you get after that kind of thing.
No, there's a lotion for that, you know.
Penicillin's not going to clear that one up.
Nope.
Trimethicin isn't going to clear that one up. Plastic surgery is not going to be able to do much good either.
Nope.
Uh, oh,
I got to get on my publisher though. I got to get um damn Luck of the Irish out soon. So
Your publisher.
everybody bug my publisher. It's ready. He needs to. I need to get that proof book so I can say, yeah, this is good. Let's go with it. And he put
I'm
so much hard work into finding a redhead for the cover. I mean, he looked at dozens of redhead pictures.
I'm sure that must have been strenuous for him.
Yeah,
Um,
and then he
he,
picked the wrong one.
Uh, the amount of Gatorade that he had to go through, and I mean, now his left bicep is just huge.
oh,
That cover took a lot of whiskey, I think.
uh, damn! I did finish off the Kraken. Oh well. Uh,
Oh yeah, next time we go to Benny's, we're gonna see if they've got some of that on the shelf.
um,
That was
Lindsay
the
needs.
Kraken Golden Spiced.
No, it was the 94 proof, just the regular, and that was the only thing that they had a pint of. We had to go to the liquor store. Lindsay needed a pint of brandy for the Christmas cake. And I go, all right.
She's
I
a
know where
fine
this
girl. What a
I
good.
know
Oh,
I know
wrong
where
brandy.
this is going, and the cake's gonna be great, but um it's a Thursday and I haven't bought a bottle of liquor in over a month. So I'm gonna get a little bitty one and hope it's lasted me 3 days. A pint lasted me 3 days. Great restraint was shown.
A whole
Oh,
pint in her cake.
well, uh, an ounce at a time, once a week.
Wow.
The cake gets baked in September.
Mhm.
Every week, you dribble one shot glass of brandy over the cake to keep it moist. It's it's a variation on a fruitcake. And believe me, fruitcake full of brandy, that's the best way to have fruitcake.
All
It's
you
the
would have
whole
to do to keep it moist, Dan, was to use that old Dan voice.
So
Oh, hell.
the Christmas cake is a female cake.
Mm, I don't know, but I have fun eating it.
Well, here's the thing. It would have to be because racks are involved.
Uh, and cherries, uh, which
Um, you know, if
which
if
were
if you're
soaked in brandy for 3 days before she ever baked the cake.
if you're
Uh,
looking at the kind of cake that my um, paternal grandmother always used to make for my dad for Christmas, it was in theory a female take or female cake as well because look at the dump on that. Um, uh, oh God, stop me before I punt again.
uh, well,
Why?
she has finally learned that um, the marzipan icing usually turns into concrete before
Oh,
we actually get to slice the cake. And while if you're willing to treat it like some kind of exotic candy and just break it up into small pieces like peanut brittle and and just kind of nibble on it, that's fine. But she would
Technically,
take
that
it.
is
She
what
would,
marzipan is.
yeah, well, she would take it.
Sure.
She would marzipan it up like it was uh, Christmas snow, and then she would take the little one of the small scale um, railroad train props like Christmas trees and Santa Claus and whatnot, and decorate the top of the cake as if it were a work of art that was a Christmas scene, because that was traditional. And now she's finally learned that, honey, this is an edible. We don't need it covered in plastic pine trees.
So,
Uh,
um, my um, niece had a birthday yesterday, which where I was at instead of being able to attend the green room. Um, so for her birthday, she had a bunch of uh, cupcakes. Wow, that went the wrong way. Um, sorry, one of the longer mustache hairs ended up on the other side of my mouth. I'm like, that feels weird. But anyways, so my nephew was um, eating his cupcake from the cupcake cake, and he bit into something hard, and he's like, "What the hell? Why? Why are these flowers not edible?" They were the candle holders. But I had a joke. I'm like, it's they're trying to get him because they knew that the only way to kill a gay man that way is to make sure that he goes for the most fabulous thing on the cake.
mm,
Ah,
mm. Oh, Lord.
yes, my
He's
child.
like, well, he's like, they are fabulous.
Oh, that's a moth. There's a moth on a post-it note that's been glued to my desk for a decade or more.
The moth.
With no,
The
no,
moth has
the
been glued there. The posty's been okay.
post-it note's been glued there. The moth is just hanging out, going, I can't eat this, but the glue smells wonderful. Um, but I kept looking at it and going, "What the hell is that? What the hell is? Oh, it's a moth. Okay. Um, if it doesn't move soon, I'm going to consider it extinct, uh, and probably make a preemptive strike to keep it from infesting one of my sweaters. I don't have that many lift that don't have holes in them already. Um,
How do you put them
or
on?
hmm,
I said, how
how
do you
do I?
put them on?
Very carefully. Uh, very carefully. Um, no, and there's one closet in the house full of clothes from when I was several sizes smaller that I'm gonna have to go through and go, whoop, nope, can't wear this, can't wear that. We're just gonna put it in a plastic bag and we're gonna take it to Goodwill and get rid of it. Somebody can get some use out of it. Sorry, Mama, I know that I was wearing this in high school and there's no way I could fit into it now. I'm at least 100 pounds heavier than I was in high school. Um, which is, I've said that as a joke, but it's pretty much accurate because I'm my normal weight now is pushing 190 something, and in high school, the 98-pound weakling I was aspiring to be. Uh, believe me, I was much lighter back in the day.
Weren't we all?
I'm actually approaching my high school weight.
And so, I know you've been losing weight.
Yep. Actually, no shit. I'm lighter than I was in high school now.
Congrats.
Really? Well, you're
Yeah, it
healthier
did.
than you were in high school now.
No.
I'm eating better than I was in high school, but so many other things are going wrong, and so many systems are shutting down and getting screwed up that no, I'm not healthy by any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, it's I when I graduated, I was a little over 400.
Ooh, definitely a big boy.
Well, yeah, it's you know uh, a very sedentary, however the hell you want to say it, lifestyle and uh, having
Believe me,
the
if I were to try and say it, it'd probably come out sedimentary, but
damn close to it.
you're
But
not sandstone, but
um, with the knees and ankles and hips being destroyed by backyard sports and shit like that in high school. Yeah, actually before middle school even, my weight shot up. Um, so yeah, it happens. But this is as far as I can get until more rings arrive.
Very good.
But I've got almost just shy of twice as far as it was. Yeah.
When you were talking, I was reminded of a smart-ass remark I made back. Let's see, it wasn't college, but it wasn't long after. And people were just getting on this organic food kick. And I just keep looking at them and go, is it a rock? No. Then it's organic, dumbass.
Mhm.
Everything that isn't rocks or sand is
Well,
organic.
Rocks are sand technically could have been organic at some point in time as well.
Well, yeah, and
Just
so was
just a lot longer ago.
and so was petroleum. I mean, seriously, it was something organic at a time, but it got cooked for a while in the Earth's greatest pressure cooker. Um,
Ow. Yeah.
I will not.
No, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the drinking horn. It has to behave so it can lead others to misbehave.
Mm. Lead us not into temptation. I already know the way.
Lead us
Follow
not
me.
into temptation. We've been there for a week. Come here. Let me text you the GPS coordinates.
Really?
We'll be waiting. No, we won't be. We'll probably be back here by the time you get here, but we're not going to wait for you. We're going to do other mayhem and bullshit until you get here. Because we are that damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Party time. Oh, that was on the speakers. It was not outside. I'm going, who the hell just started a rave in my yard? Uh,
Some Byzantine that I did earlier with rings that I bought so long ago that I couldn't figure out what frickin' size they were. Finally figured it out.
mm,
12 gauge 5/16, which reminds me, I need to actually write that on the back.
Probably a good idea.
Helps if I
I
do not have the bag upside down so they spill all over the place.
I did manage to find the I hope right size stainless steel wire to replace the deep fryer basket for the Dutch oven. Um, well, I mean the hook for the handle that came broken because instead of shipping them in separate boxes, somebody crammed the deep fryer basket in there and broke one of the handle uh, mounting points off, which annoyed me greatly. But it was the worst weld I've ever seen in my life.
As
I
long as it's
probably
not Joe Dog's version of Dutch oven, that'd be bad.
no, no. Um, I wouldn't do that to my worst enemy on purpose. Uh, and actually, oh, there it is. Uh, this little piece of garbage here. I mean, I know you can't see the gap in the weld or how it was so shoddily attached to the basket itself, but I can look at it and I go, damn, Daddy could have done better than that after the funeral. No, that's just not acceptable. So I've got the stainless steel wire. I had to get the stainless steel so that it was food safe because
Mm-hmm.
deep fryer basket. I'm not going to do any soldering or welding because I don't have anything I can trust in my own possession right now to weld with. I can't go to mom and dad's and use dad's uh, arc welder because I don't know of any welding rods that would still survive that he had that would be food safe. So it's just going to have to be bent and twisted wire, which fits so well with my personality.
I was going to say, it matches.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever works.
Hey, if it lets me drop the basket into the deep fryer and pull the basket out of the deep fryer, I'll take that as a win. Uh, Plus, I mean, it's a perfectly serviceable Dutch oven anyway, even without using that particular option. And perhaps one of these days I'll even learn how to fry chicken without setting the house on fire.
That's the hard part.
That definitely is the hard part. Um,
The key is you have to be clothed while doing it.
that part I got right, but
Well,
um,
we know you and house fires and lack of clothing.
hey, I was asleep at the time. I just went and grabbed a fire extinguisher and put the fire out. Uh, I did not have time to don pants.
Most people, when they're naked, are trying to start a fire.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the night before there was some friction going on, but I was younger then.
Which mini page pinup were you looking at?
Was
I'm
kind of
sorry.
I was kind of looking at Lindsay instead of Betty Page. I mean, I've got my priorities in order.
You know where your bread is buttered?
Yep. That's really weird. Carl has only asked me for Doctor Who videos. He's never asked me for my Betty Page photographs. She's not a redhead. That makes sense.
No, he's got a couple of books about her.
He needs Doctor Who videos. I can hook him up with someone who's got a lot more, who's a lot closer.
I am only missing the last 3 or 4 from the previous season because my pirate friend needs a liver transplant and he's been trying to get healthy enough to get the liver transplant.
I had my drives and my laptop at Hallowcon.
I could have borrowed them if only I had been wise enough to ask the question. Now the only problem is I have my own file system for them and my own file names, trying to keep track of them. So when they say season 27, I'm going, no, that's season 29. You forgot the 2 gaps.
I tend to. Well, I'm still in the middle of renaming them because they had messed up naming conventions and stuff like that. Because I'm trying to get them so that they can work with Plex. So I can just have my Plex server point to my drives here so that I can just watch them on the big screen TV. Although now with the 39, or not 39, 34. Yeah, 34. I think. Fuck, I don't even know how big my monitor is anymore. I think it's 34. Anyways, sorry, I digress. It's almost like watching a big screen TV. Considering how close I'm sitting to the monitor, I mean. But the only ones I'm missing are the ones that very few people, if any, have anywhere in the world. And if they have them, they're not sharing them because they are the missing episodes, so they're even more special. And I'm also pulling out the ones that are missing episodes, but they're playing part of the audio track over storyboards and still photos and stuff like that.
Some of those are telesnap reconstructions. The audio is complete, and they have still photos from the
they're just missing the actual moving pictures. Yeah.
I've got all of them.
Which I have them, but I'm not going to put them over Plex, because I don't need to watch them over Plex. I can, wherever I want.
Plus, watching the telesnap reproductions is painful because it is still photographs with the audio. But that's the only way you can get the missing episodes that have not been recovered yet or animated yet. And there's actually a student film project that redid one standalone episode by itself that none of the regular cast were in, but it was the introduction to a Dalek story. And pretty much The entire cast dies in that one, except for the Daleks. And thankfully, none of the regular cast were in that, but it was only one 22-minute episode. And it's been redone as some fairly decent animation, and it's been redone by this um, student film class, whatever, and as live action, and it's pretty close. They've got all the dialogue. They've got all the script has been transcribed. So they just walked on the sound stage and did it themselves in front of black and white cameras and tried to reproduce it as best they could. It's fairly decent. Uh, which one was it the intro to? Probably Dalek Master Plan. So, uh, not sure. Not sure what they actually called. I am not pulling up my spreadsheet to let me know what the episode title actually was or the number. That would take me probably longer than we've got listed in the show to find everything. Wikipedia has a complete list, uh, and it is one of the classic episodes, so you don't have to go through the modern stuff, but you got to scroll through about a quarter of the way through all 26 years of the classic broadcasts in order to get to that one. Let me out.
No, somebody wake up and play with me.
Oh, like that's going to happen. You're not long before you go to bed.
Nope.
And Carl's not going to wake up until daylight strikes.
And all the other cats are like, bro, leave us alone.
Really. Back off, Boogaloo. We're trying to sleep.
Hello, Strips. Oh shit, she's still up. Damn it.
Can't knock anything off the desk.
They don't get up on my desk. However, coming back from Hallowcon, I learned next time we go someplace overnight or several nights, I'm going to have to close my bedroom door.
Yeah.
Because the only thing that kept him from knocking my TV over was the fact that I discovered later Strips likes to sleep in front of it. But it was leaning against the wall.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
For Hallowcon, Lindsay said, just in case when the little girl comes in to feed the cats for us, some of them that don't usually come in the house come in the house. Go ahead and close your office door. I go, no problem. And I came back to a gracious lack of carnage in my office. Nothing was knocked over. The door was closed. Evidently, the little girl did not feel any need to open my door whatsoever. She did feed the cats. She did empty the indoor litter boxes. Think she might have done the outdoor one too. Not sure. That's not my area of guardianship. I'm just wondering, you know, I do hope once I've got a fire burning in the stove, the cats don't jump up on it trying to get a piece of steak or whatever and find out, oh, this thing's hot.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they will be able to feel the heat from far enough away to go, nope, not going to do that. We'll wait till they put it
But I'm
on
not that dumb.
plates. Yeah,
Mm.
really. Hey, these are my cats. They might be that dumb. They've been protected all of their life.
Yeah. Well, Himoni found out the hard way that the tank to my toilet does not have a top on it. I broke the handle off, and I'm not going to pay to get a new toilet just for a damned handle. So I've got the top off the tank so I can pull that up myself. He jumped up, and where the lid wasn't there, and he fell in and got wet.
Splish splash.
Yeah, huh? And then just today, he's up on the seat of the toilet, looking like he's going to get up there again, and I'm like, dude, you don't remember what happened last time? He's a special boy. He'd ride the special bus if he was human.
Ours would have climbed up and looked in after having fallen in the first time. Hey, did they fix this yet? Fuck no! Get me out of here!
He was lucky he didn't fall all the way in, but he fell enough in that he got wet, and then it was feet don't fail me now. And being the sympathetic for mommy I am, I stood there and laughed at him.
Mm-hmm. As you do. Well, folks, in the comments, I'm very sorry that I haven't been highlighting stuff so much, but I have been vocally admitting to your existence.
Hasn't been anybody commented since Daniel came in.
Yeah, I still have timestamps turned on. That's been damn near an hour ago.
Hmm. He's just been enthralled by us.
Probably tranquilized by us, or at least my voice. Oh, Lord. I hope when I go to bed, the dog will actually give me room to lay down. I can always go and evict whatever cat is sleeping in my lazy boy in the living room, but I hate to do that because Lindsay will get excited about me coming back in there and watching her soap operas with her the way we used to do PPS and
Oops.
other channels while we still had a satellite dish. But when she had that turned off to save us money, I didn't have much reason to go back in the living room anymore except to go to the beer fridge and back.
Sorry about that. Shit.
Well,
I just kicked Callie.
when she turned off Cartoon Network and Boomerang, I'm going, well, we don't get PBS anymore. And I would just be sitting here watching you, listening to you talk while the show is on. Now, I can do that during mysteries, but soap operas? Not got that kind of interest in Coronation Street or Upstairs, Downstairs, or and whatever else it is that she watches. And basically, I'll walk through there and she'll be complaining about how stupid the scripts are. I'm going, oh, honey, I'm so glad that I'll sit and watch YouTube videos rather than the ones you are complaining about having bent cops and really stupid dialogue. And I know if she's complaining about it, she could probably write it better than the people that are getting paid to write it. And she's probably got a better grasp of their continuity than they do.
When I used to watch soap operas, I would record them during the day. Then after I come home from work, I'd watch them, but I'd fast forward so I'd see the actor I wanted to see rather than just watch the whole dang thing.
Mm, yeah, it's probably the most intelligent thing to do. I really regret back when I was still living in a trailer before I bought the house. I had 4 VCRs going at the same time, recording stuff from different channels at the same time, while I was watching a fifth channel and going, when am I ever going to have time to watch these tapes? Answer is not before I die. Um, I still don't have time to watch a lot of that stuff, and I got the tape stored somewhere, but I have no idea. Nobody makes VHS uh, recorders, players. I've still got a uh, VHS DVD that only the VHS works on. The DVD died a long time ago. Um, I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you. I don't know why I've still got it plugged up. It needs to go into recycling and get rid of it. Uh, Brand new one. They want more for it than I have ever paid for any kind of video audio equipment, including widescreen TVs, in my life. And I'm going, I don't care that it's old fashioned. That doesn't mean you can charge me $1,000 for something that 10 years ago I could get at Walmart for 20. The technology hasn't changed. It's just gone out of fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much I've got to go through my list of VHS movies that I've got that I have slowly been replacing with DVDs and replace a whole lot more. And then take the VHS to Goodwill and say, bye bye. Now I have room for 5 more years worth of stuff, as long as it's on DVD. I am so behind the times I have still not bought a Blu-ray player. I mean, I can't tell the difference. I've seen them at somebody else's house. I can't tell the difference. There's no improvement in the video or the audio. The only improvement I can see is Blu-ray has much more storage space.
Yeah.
And for what I want to do, I don't need the entire Hobbit and Lord of the Rings on one disc. Extended.
How very dare you?
It's time to say goodnight, Gracie.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, it is. I'm sorry, folks, but we are at 2 hours, and let's see. Well, all of us can be found on indiecd.org. If you
All of
really
us can be found in Aphelion.
right now, yeah.
This month, yeah.
Yeah. December issue's coming out in a bit, and I'm going to have a hell of a time trying to pick out greatest hits for this past year. I'm just hoping that I don't have to have every single new story by one guy, because he sent me a year's worth of stuff. I've still got stuff by him. I could run until probably 4th of July just on stuff he's already submitted. I'm going, dude, you're a good writer, but you're not going to be the only author in the entire issue unless it's an absolute emergency. Let's see. Okay, there we are. We are ready for the outro. Yep. Thank you very much, folks. We've had a great time. Hope you have too. And we shall see you anon. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you for being here.
Good night.
Hey, good night, people.
Transmission overload.
System will shut down.
Transmission overload.
System will shut down.
Transmission overload.
System will shut down. System will shut down. System will shut down.